Come to have a look at Waterloo Cemetery once again. The second time we've been here. It was established in 1873. It's just a very tiny cemetery, but we really like the feel of this place. So we decided, as it stopped raining, wanted to get out for a little bit of a walk. We'll come out this way, have a bit of a look. I'll just shut the gate behind us. Beth's already wandering around. And we have a couple of the service people here, so send them a little bit of a blessing. We might make mention of a couple of names here as we go through. This fella here was a sergeant in the 2nd and 14th Field Ambulance. Died at the age of 74. In 1969. Just come for a quick look. We'll see if what we're attracted to. This one's embossed in gold. James Stokes passed away the 18th of May 1964, aged 70 or 20, I'm not too sure. Might head down the bottom end first and then work our way up. This is in memory of her beloved husband Alexander Hutton from Fifeshire in Scotland.
This one, one of Beau's relatives.
Yeah, it might be one of Beau's relatives. Never know.
I have to ask you.
There's a little name here, Bessie Harris. 1866 to 1866 to 1885. So she's only really a youngster. 20 years old, 19. Just wanted to have a look at this one here. They still do use this cemetery from time to time. Loving memory of William H. Eade, died in 1903, aged 62. I want to head down towards that back corner. It's an interesting memorial at the back.
Evelyn Wilcock, 1862 to 1896, aged 34 years, and his daughter and daughter Alice, 1885 to 1888, aged 3 years. Anne is the first wife of Henry Augustus Wilcock, loved mother of Mary Alice Harry Nell Amelia Charles Annie and Fred. But she was awesome. She had a handful.
Yeah, big family. And this one here is in loving memory of our loving sister Anne Theodore.
Eva.
There's no dates.
Eva born 1911, died 3 days old.
Oh, 3 days old.
So this is the mother.
Yep.
And then you've got in memory of Edith Maud Wilcock.
Died 21 days.
died 21 days, so she had other children.
Yeah.
And William and Christina West. Then you've got in memory of the children of Thomas and Mary Wilcock, which is her kids.
Stillborn.
So that's Anne's kids.
And Eva died 3 days old.
So they put them all in with their mum.
Really wanted to come and give a bit of respect to this one here. Loving memory of Alan Hewley, E. Fitzgerald, passed to eternal life in 1881, aged 47. One of the 4,000 Irish orphan girls brought to Australia in 1850. Wife of William Hewley, we saw her grave before, Hewley, who was a convict pardoned by Queen Victoria. Also James Hewley, son of Ellen and William, passed to eternal life in 1876, aged 9 years. William Hewley buried at Ararat. He was buried in 1892, aged 69 years. So this grave here is more or less in memory of one of the 4,000 Irish orphan girls brought to Australia in 1950. It's pretty classic. And back in the 50s there was a big thing with that. Different countries, kids, people coming from different countries. This one's treasured memory of Beverly Jean Baker, and she died in 2002, and that's just a nice little simple grave, that one. It's a very pretty cemetery, this one. And this one's quite substantial, or substantial as it comes from this particular cemetery, because there's nothing really big here. This is erected by Jane in remembrance of her beloved husband Thomas Weverton, native of Kent, England. So you had a lot of Irish, a lot of English, a lot of Scottish coming out this way, all towards the goldfields. And just to settle, and this grave here looks like it's pretty muchly sunken in. Got the K2 going nuts, but we're also got some cars pulling up, or a car pulling up, so it's going to be a little bit quiet here when the family are here. Have come to obviously see a loved one. How are you going? At least it stopped raining for a bit. Memory of my beloved husband James Cleland, native of Ardrey, no, Scotland. We're sort of history hunters. We're sort of history hunters. So we love going to the old cemeteries, and especially the pioneer ones. And it's lovely. Yeah, and it's a lovely feel out here. It really is. It's very nice.
Great-grandparents.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Flowers are going to visit my parents. Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
all the little here, all my relations.
Wow.
My grandparents.
So you've obviously been in the area for a long time.
Yeah, it's 5 generations. Yeah.
5 generations. Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I'll be going there too.
Okay.
Well, you've got a nice view, I'll give you that. Yeah.
Well, it's a lovely area. You know, it really is.
We kind of frequent the older pioneer cemeteries and
Yeah. I just had an interesting long chat to the lady that you just saw in the video. She's one of the caretakers of the cemetery, and she was telling me she's got quite a few relatives in the cemetery, and she was telling me about her grandfather and how he died, and he was only like 29 or something. He actually died. He was at a horse and dray on one of the dirt roads, back roads here in this countryside, and he stopped off and let the horse and dray keep going while he spoke to a neighbour, and he ran up after the horse and dray, and he slipped and he fell on something metallic or whatever and sliced his whole neck open, and that's how he died. And the other grandfather that she's got here actually died in the war and is buried in the trenches, and she'd actually gone across and found out where he was buried and took some of the gravel from France, where he was buried, and scattered it on his grave. So yeah, there you go, a little bit of stories. This is Andrew Mark Sullivan, beloved soulmate of Anita Greach. Died in 2016, so relatively new. There's a couple of newer ones here. We try to censor on some of the older ones, but we just wanted to give you a bit of a look. Now the K2 was going mad before, and I think because the two ladies had come in, the caretakers of the property, and because they got relatives here, and I think it was going mad because it's still going mad now, because their relatives are recognising that they are here. And it looks like still doing so. So there's a couple of, she was also saying to me that there's a lot of unmarked graves here. Back in 1930 there was a fire that raged through this whole countryside, and a lot of the graves at that stage had wooden headstones, and all the headstones, all the head markers were all burnt in the fire. So there are a lot of graves here that are unmarked. So wherever you're standing, like obviously this one here, wherever you're standing, you could be walking over a grave. She says there's a hell of a lot here unmarked. Bit of a rabbit hole by the looks of it, but it's not a big cemetery, it's only a small cemetery, but it's rather pretty. And this countryside here can get very, very dry in summer, and very, very wet in winter. I was going to do a spirit box, but I won't do it while the public are here, and seeing as it's such a small cemetery, people are going to hear it. So the K2 is settled down now. There's another unmarked grave here, one that can be sighted. Remembering that in a lot of these spots here, you just can't see where the graves are. The big one there is my beloved husband Philip Blackmore, who died in 1894, aged 66. And there's an inscription that says, "None know how sad the parting or what the farewell cost, but God and his loved angels who gained what I have lost." That's pretty cool. Another decent sized one here, Joseph Fruscia departed his life on the 14th of 1881, I think. 14th of something. Oh, January 14th, sorry, 1881, age 56. A few little inscriptions there, and also Sarah. Gray, in recognition of our ancestral pioneers. Elizabeth Gray died in 1883, aged 60, formerly wife of Hugh Dunn, mother of William, and a whole heap of other kids. She was born in Drayton, Somersetshire, England. Sailed with Hugh and sons William and James from Plymouth in 1849 on the Hope, which is obviously a ship. Arrived in Port Phillip in Victoria, Australia in 1849. And this is also the grave of Thomas Tilson Dunn, who was aged 17 months, died in 1887. So a little bit of history, and that's why we love these cemeteries, coming out to these older pioneer cemeteries. There's always a little bit of a story that comes across, and we were lucky enough to meet up with the caretakers of this cemetery, who told us a few little yarns of their family. They have quite a big family here, and she said there's I think she said there was about 5 or 6 generations or something of her family here. She said she'll be one of them in the end. She obviously stayed in the area. You okay?
Yeah, my leg's not.
Head back to the car.
Oh, yeah, my leg's not.
How cool is this place? Very cool.
The lady could just tell him as well that there's
Yep.
in that back corner there's all Chinese grave, the Chinese immigrant
Oh,
grave.
okay.
Yeah, they're just telling you all along the back corner.
Right. So all along the back corner there's all the Chinese immigrant graves?
Yeah. The lady
And
could
there's
just
no
tell him.
headstones whatsoever?
They're going to do something about it, they just said.
Yeah. They're going to work on putting some sort of a memorial there, which would be lovely.
They're both on the car.
What a lovely place. Lovely countryside. Lots of mushrooms. Lots of mushrooms.
I'm not into mushrooms.
In honour of all the Australians who fought in the Great War, 1914 to 1918, and to the perpetrator, the memory of those from Waterloo and the district. It's a nice little memorial, that one.
Yeah, and some of those
Very cool. This area here, Beth was just talking to some of the ladies, or two of the ladies that are on the trust here for the cemetery board. This area here we're walking over, there's a lot of unmarked graves. And as I was saying before, she was saying that back in 1930 a fire ripped through here and a lot of the graves were made from wood, so they all burnt. So there's no real...
She said they've got a map where all we are unmarked.
Yeah, she said she had a map of where they all are, and slowly but surely they'll do something about commemorating some of them. Yep. There's a couple of nice ones here. Yeah, this is one of the old wooden ones. You can't make out anything on it whatsoever. Pretty cool. So Beth's having a bit of a wander up the top end where we were.
Jack's got to listen to her body and go back down the hill.
Yeah.
Her legs are not.
And this one we'll just have a quick look at.
Yeah. There's one behind it I was drawn to. I wanted to see the one behind it. Oh.
This one's in memory of Thomas Newley.
I think we spoke to him last time we were here.
Yeah, I think we spoke to Thomas last time we were here.
Probably like it.
He died in 1913, age 78. I think all the relatives went with the family. That's quite an awesome grave, this one. While Beth's wandering around a little bit, just give you another quick look at the scenery. Hope you've enjoyed a look at this cemetery. Cheers for now.